Hey there, baseball fans. Nathan Rohde and Shooter Hunt here with the latest episode of Coffee and Curveballs. Shooter, you were just in one of your favorite areas of the country, Louisiana, for the annual All State Games.
Yeah, back really in my second home. I flew into New Orleans and made my way to LSU for an inter squad, stayed in Berwick, Louisiana, and then at the gorgeous LSU Eunice compounds, home of the six-time JUCO, our national champions.
Nice. I'd be interested to see if we went back to all the places you've been, how many second homes you actually have. Because
Well,
you'd like
Louisiana's really the second spot. I
Nice.
graduated from Tulane. That's the place for me.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure you got to roam around your stomping grounds and get some good food, but let's talk about the event and some players. Leading off with Gavin Guidry. Hard not to talk about him. I haven't seen him yet, but I know the name because every time we talk about a Louisiana guy, it seems like he's in the conversation.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a few Barb guys. I mean, Barb's a powerhouse in the state of
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana, and Guidry's kind of the next guy in line there. Shortstop, can also hop on the mound, which the last pitcher of the day of the first game, he's 88 to 92 with a whammer of a breaking ball. You could easily just push him forward as one of the top arms in that class, but I just love the projection of the physicality that's going to come. He's 6'2", about 170 right now, lost 20 pounds over the summer due to an illness. So he's just getting back there. He's
Mm-hmm.
got easily 25, 30 pounds to put on there. Super smooth in the infield. He's a 6'7" runner, just real graceful strides. And then, yeah, it's a powerful stroke from the right side. Works uphill through the zone, balanced, controlled aggression, but working the backside gap is what stood out to me. He was really able to drive it that way. But he's just the premier athlete, and there's some big programs right now waiting on his hopeful commitment.
And speaking of commitments, let's talk about some guys that are committed that stood out at the event. Leading off that group, you have Kyle DeBarge, a Louisiana Lafayette recruit that ran a 6.760 this weekend.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of DeBarge, and I think the Raging Cajun fans are going to love him as well. He's only about 5'8", 150 pounds or so, but he plays much bigger than the body, does not get cheated at the plate from the right side. He was in the outfield. He was at shortstop. He just started behind the plate. He was about a 185, maybe a little standing, but the arm really plays through the bag, had a nice block and recover to gun down a runner. But that energy, he's coming from Barb. You know he's going to be a good player. Michael O'Brien, who's a 23, left-handed stick. I actually did not see that he was committed to Tulane before this. Found out afterwards, which I'm a Tulane grad, so good kudos to those guys. The swing really plays. He works short to long. Good athlete in the box, gains momentum through that impact. I think he's going to be a really good one. Also ran a 6'9", and with a good arm in the outfield. And then another Tulane commit in the 22 class, Luke Hill, physical right-handed hitter. He's got strong forearms. Almost reminds me of Brandon Geyer at the plate, Rhodey. There's a
Oh,
name.
there's a throwback.
But does not get cheated again. 95-mile-an-hour exit velos, was working uphill through the zone. Took some good cuts in game as well, and he's obviously a good athlete. And then Cameron Chris, a 23 catcher, left-handed hitter, committed to Mississippi State. Real controlled, slows the game down. Fairly patient at the plate, hit a triple in game deep to center field, but the frame is something you're very excited about with how big he is right now, and he's really able to slow that game down.
Excellent. And then in Louisiana, everybody's favorite game is Name That Pearson. A few years ago, you might remember the name Jacob Pearson, an early round pick to the Angels, then since traded to the Twins. That guy could hit, and guess what? It runs in the family because it sounds like Josh and John are swinging it well.
Yeah, Josh was a 22, reclassed into the 21 class, ran a 6'5". The frame continues to get better. It's leaned out. He's about 5'10", 190. Obviously runs well. He played some second base. I think he's going to be able to do some dynamic things at LSU. But the left-handed bat plays, really turns the barrel well. It's some power projection to the pull side. But just real confident but quietly confident kid. He's similar to a Cade Beloso type where he's going to step into the box, be able to do some big things, in my opinion. But John Pearson, just a 24. I mean, shoot, you're talking about 100-mile-an-hour exit velocities. And from the first swing, the ball is screaming off the bat. It's very simple. Stroke, just direct to the ball, and it flies off. He's also up to 85 on the mound. He's only going to get better. He's actually bigger than Josh right now, and I think he's going to continue to have a bigger frame. But that bat's going to play.
Excellent. Very interesting there. And then we got Cameron Edwards, who ran a 6.72 on the weekend, had a couple of hits in the game. Didn't take long for him to come off the board as he committed to Eastern Kentucky shortly after the event.
Yeah, and talking with Alex Armand, our scouting director down in Louisiana, he had great things to say. Another Barb kid who was uncommitted. I'm watching here at saying this guy's still uncommitted, left-handed hitter, really nice actions in the outfield, just glided around with a strong throwing arm. And at the plate was just patient, used the whole field, hammered the baseball twice in game for a couple of hits. But we had the live feed going. There's obviously some coaches locked in there, including our man Walt Jones up at Eastern Kentucky, where he did end up committing to. But that's a really good one for them because I think he's a great player who probably got hurt a bit by the COVID throughout the spring season, where guys didn't get to see him, but he's in a good spot now.
Excellent. Well, wrapping us up here, give us 5 names, uncommitted guys that coaches should be following from this event.
I think one of the big ones was a 23, another catcher, left-handed hitter, Zach Schoenborn, 6'1", 195, real physical. He's at the Junior Future Games a couple years ago, has gotten obviously much more physical, but the barrel works short to long through the zone. He keeps it in there, can cover the whole plate. I think there's big power projection from him. Dawson Curtin, a left-handed pitcher in the 22 class, was 85 to 87, gets some swings and misses on the fastball against some good hitters. But he's one, obviously left-handed, quick arm, a good one to follow this spring. Jimmy Johnson, a guy we've known for a while, right-handed pitcher in the 22 class, 86 to 88, but it's his aptitude for spin that I really like. I think he's going to be able to throw a lot of sliders for strikes. He can manipulate the shape a bit, but he's going to be a guy you can count on to come in and compete at all times. Caleb Webb was another catcher in the 22 class who stood out early from the right side with the bat. There's a little twitch in the barrel, gets it through the zone. He's another one. And then Kaysen Ballard, we'll end it on another Barb guy. 2024 shortstop. He was outstanding the whole day. Just everywhere you want him to be, the right place, right time. Hey, we need a guy to go catch up at second base. He was there every single time. And then at the plate, the frame's still adding some strength. It's about 5'11", 150, but it's going to become more physical, and his actions are obviously there. He's got some polish, but he's one that I'll definitely be following moving forward.
Death, taxes, and Barb baseball players, baby. You know they're always going to come. So there you have it, a look at the Louisiana All State Games. Be sure to check out PrepBaseballReport.com for more coverage. And as always, for Shooter Hunt, I'm Nathan Rohde. This was Coffee and Curveballs. And until next time, we'll see you guys at the ballpark.